Hey friends, how's it going? David Potts here with Song Notes, and I have a warm-up exercise I want to share with you in this lesson today. So I've been learning this song on the side here, this Colter Wall song, and the progression it uses is just E, A, and D, but I found myself working into a little bit of a kind of going off the beaten path, right? Outside of what that song is doing, using the same progression though, and kind of using the sound of the song, the spirit of the song, and I put together this exercise that sort of uses some walk-ups and walk-downs in addition to some cool strumming that makes this just a fun, repetitive groove. I found myself playing, I wanted to capture it here and make a video for it for you as well. So I'm going to teach it to you, and I'm going to show you two versions of this little exercise, right? They're going to be based on the same chords, the same progressions and everything. The second one is going to have a little bit more, I'm going to include some up strums, and I'm going to double up some of the walk-ups. So it's kind of a, in spirit it sounds the same, but it's a nice way to sort of crank up the difficulty if you are warmed up and you want something that's a bit more groovy. So I'm going to show you both. Stick around, and the tabs for this lesson you can find at my website, playsongnotes.com. Okay, so check them out; they're there. And all of you who support me on Patreon, thank you very much. You get access to this cool PDF of it as well if you want to print it out and follow these tabs. But let's get into this lesson. How it's going to work is I'm going to show you the easy version first, and then I'll show you the harder version in the back half, okay? So kicking this off, basically there's three chords we're going to need to know. You need to know your A major, okay? You'll need to know your D major, and you'll need to know your E major. Okay, so A, D, and E. The only little chord trick I'm doing in this lesson is I often play the A with a single finger. I'm barring my index finger and basically playing the second fret on the second, third, and fourth string, okay? This is just easier to switch to lots of times, and it, I don't know, it's just, it's more convenient in a lot of cases here. So I have a separate lesson on that technique. You can check that out in the description of this video. That's the only trick I'll say, but otherwise, let's get into this. So big picture here, I've broken it into basically two lines of four sections each, and each section has about two measures here. So let's see big picture. Let's start with these walk-ups, or these alternating bass notes you have on each chord. And what I mean by that is instead of just having an A, right? What we're gonna do for a lot of this song, no matter what chord we're playing, is we're gonna do a technique where we pluck the bass note of the chord, and then we do a full strum of the chord, and then we pluck a different bass note, right? Then strum again. So the A, right? I'm going between 5th string and 6th string. And even if you were doing the barred A, same deal, right? Now you're going to see this in this, this first little section here, and you're also going to have the same principle with the E in the second section here. Basically, you're going to be going, in this case, we're going to be going from 5th string to 6th string as well. And I'm just repeating it, right? You want to get used to doing this. Go back to the A, get used to doing this as well. And the D, the same deal. We want to go from this 4th string open to the 5th string open. So you're going to notice that basically throughout this lesson, you're going to be doing alternating bass notes on these chords here. So that's like one real principle of this. The other one is going to be these walk-ups into the chord position. So I'm going to show you these now, and I'll do them in order. Okay, the first one, and we're going to start in the first few counts of the entire thing, is this walking up to the A. So on the 6th string, we're going to be playing the open 6th string, 2nd fret 6th string with our index finger, and then open 5th string. And we're going to use that as the initial bass note strum of our A major chord, right? So, and you go into the alternating bass note, and you could repeat that over and over again, right? Get comfortable. Try to stay in time. Okay, and when you want to move on to the next one, we're going to do the same walk-up, but then the third note, instead of being the open 5th string, is going to be the second fret of the 5th string. And that's actually going to be something we play with our middle finger when our left hand is in the E major shape here. Okay, so it's a bit of a jump because you need to either walk up to your middle finger and then move that middle finger to the E, or walk up with your index finger and then move that index finger out of the way and get to the E, right? But let's do this little first couple measures in repeat here. Before we move on, I just want you to get comfortable with things bit by bit. That's a great way to practice. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. You want to chew off what you can manage, get comfortable with it, and then add a thing or two, right? So let's just focus on this early part. A, and then E. And do it again. Same walk up all the time. All right, one more time. Okay, you can repeat that till the cows come home. And then basically, the next walk down we're going to add, it's the same idea as a walk up. You're just going down. We're going to be on the 5th string, 3rd fret, 2nd fret to open 5th string. And that's going to take us to this A major chord. Okay? Now, I'll also say this same technique of going from 3rd to 2nd to open, we're also going to use that later on in the song when we go down to the E major chord. And you see that here. We'll do that in the 6th string. Right? 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open. And then that puts us into the E major strum. So I'm teaching you that one as well because it's the same exact principle as the A major one. You know, I'm using middle finger to index finger, and then open is no fingers, right? So whether you do that in the 5th string or whether you do it in the 6th string, it's the same idea. So now what we have is we have one walk up, which is this, right? And we're using that for the A into the E. And we have 2 walk downs. We have this one, down to the E. So what you could do right there is put together, you could just ignore this tab and put together your own version of that, where maybe we go up to the A, you go up to the E, and then walk down to the A, and then walk down to the E. Okay? Now that walk up I just did is from 2nd to 4th fret on the 6th string. Okay? I'll show you that one in a minute, but let's move on in order here, right? So we have this so far, right? Da, 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 da. Okay, new walk up right here. We're gonna walk up to the D. We're gonna go 2nd to 4th fret on the 5th string with our index finger and our ring finger, okay? And then we're gonna go to open 4th string, which is the beginning of the D chord. And then we're going to go back down to the A. So you saw there I walked down with my ring finger to index finger. Do what's comfortable, you know. I think there it's kind of more of a pinch for me to get my middle finger back, so I just kind of have the ring finger on standby. I use it, right? But basically, again, let's go from the A, walk up to that D, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string, and back to the A. Now, in this little segment here in the 2nd line with the A, I'm actually going to do the alternating bass note from the 5th string to the 4th string. Okay, same idea as 5th to 6th string. We're just going to the 1 string thinner instead, right? So, and it's a thing about walking up and walking down with these bass notes when you're strumming is you can, you know, alternate between the 5th and the 4th. Or the 5th and the 6th, right? Or maybe, you know, there's no real limit. You can be free with it, right? Right? Again, I'm not following the tab there, but that's a great thing to practice if you want to have something to work on. But then we're just going to walk back down to the E, and then walk up to the A, right? 2nd on the 6th string to 4th on the 6th string, A. Single strum of the A. Then 2 to 4 to 0 to get to the D, 1 strum of the D, and then back down to the A, and then back down to the E. Okay, that's the whole thing, and then it's not shown here in the tab, but walk back up to the A, and then you're done. You could repeat it. So let me play this easy version, and by easy I mean I'm keeping it really simple. I'm going to do it real slow, and check this out, right? so that's basically that version right there. So again, take that slow. You can go much slower than I did. Okay, so now let's take that and spice it up a little bit. So we're gonna move down to the quote unquote harder version of this tab. Again, it's gonna be the same foundation, both the walk-ups you're doing and the chords you're playing, but we're just gonna add a bit of complexity to mix it up. A couple things I'll be doing here. One is I'm gonna be basically using a palm muting technique, where I'm going to be taking this fleshy part of my hand and putting it right on the bottom of my strings, right where the strings touch the pegs. And if you just, keep it there, it kind of mutes the strings a little bit, right? Okay, that's Johnny Cash right there. But the idea is that gives a cool sound. So I'll be doing that some of the time. Another thing I'm doing is I'm going to be doing an up strum on the alternating bass note strums, right? So bass down up, 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 bass down up. Right? So 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 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 totally not required, but it's a good thing to do if you're just, your blood's slow and you want to crank up the volume a little bit. Your pick is coming up anyway for the next down strum, so just kind of brush the strings a little bit. That's kind of what I'm doing there. I'm really going to be emphasizing or using this single finger A major chord just because it's a bit easier to switch to, and especially if I crank up the speed a little bit, it becomes more practical. And the final thing that's different about this hard version is on the walk-ups, I'm going to repeat the first note of each walk-up and walk-down, and it's going to be on the 3 and count. So before, the walk-ups were 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, right? This is going to be on 3 and 4, 1, 3 and 4, 1, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 1, right? So that's going to sound like this. Alright, so basically I did the whole thing there, and again it's just the walk-ups are the same and the walk-downs are the same. It's just to repeat the first note. Now this is trickier, right? Especially if you're going to be faster, it gets tougher because you have more going on, you're picking more with both the doubled up walk-up and walk-down notes and also with the up strums. So feel free to take it slow. Don't feel like you have to crank up the speed, even though it can be tempting. And I'll say that also, especially once you start going fast, the final two sections here, which are the final 4 measures, in reality you're going from A up to D, down to A, and down to E. That gets really tough when you're going fast because you're kind of walk up, strum, walk up, strum, walk up, strum, walk up, strum, da da da. So don't speed that up also if you're having great problem with it, right? But let's do that one more time. Okay, so there you have it for this warm-up exercise. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, this is a nice way to take some just familiar cowboy chords, so to speak, add these walk-ups and walk-downs, and just sort of mix them together in a different sort of way that, sounds kind of cool. I always have a hard time. I sound like Walk the Line by Johnny Cash whenever I sort of do the walk-ups and walk-downs in this style, but with this one I was feeling good about, it feeling a bit different and not too much like Johnny Cash, but it's still in his style, which is kind of cool too. So hey, this has been David Potts. Thanks for watching, y'all. Check out the website, playsongnotes.com. Thanks to all of you who are supporting me. Again, on Patreon, to the tip jar, it means so much to me, and I hope these lessons continue to be helpful. Keep sending in your requests. I have a lot of cool stuff planned and coming up, so I'm going to get to it, but wanted to post this one first. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.